This is your Weather Extreme video for Saturday, August the 6th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Quick look at the actual highs for yesterday shows why we had a heat advisory yesterday, and we're expecting numbers pretty close to these today, so that means another heat advisory from 9 a.m. this morning through 9 p.m. this evening. On the satellite image, we see that we do have a few clouds across the northern third of the state of Alabama, and a few clouds streaming across the southwestern corner after those thunderstorms that occurred down near the beach overnight last night. On the surface map, while we still have high pressure over the area, we also have a front that is nearing the area. The front's likely to wash out before actually getting down into Alabama. And even if it is get down into the area, we have something else, and that's what appears on the upper air chart. While the overall pattern is one of an upper ridge, and you can certainly see that clearly on this 500 millibar pattern, we do have a weak disturbance that's in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico. You can see it with a little L that's in that area. And that disturbance is going to be doing a lot for keeping the weather somewhat unsettled across the southeastern U.S. for the next week or so as it meanders, slowly maybe making its way westward. Temperatures this morning starting out once again in the 70s. I mean, fairly typical for this time of August. Radar pretty clear across the state of Alabama. We do have a little cluster of storms coming down I-65, it appears. But I doubt that will really hold together, and we expect to see isolated showers once again across the area. The watch warning map has sprouted more heat advisories for the southeastern and the south part of the United States, with some heat warnings over there across parts of northwestern Louisiana and extreme southwestern Arkansas. The QPF really gives you quite a story here with 16 inches being forecast just offshore of the northwest corner of the state of Florida, I guess you could say, certainly in the vicinity of Cross City, north of Tampa. And that is really a result of this disturbance that we're going to be watching on the GFS models. And you notice that it also brings some rain on the order of perhaps as much as 2 inches northward into parts of central Alabama. That could be helpful because, as you can see from the drought monitor map, that the northern two-thirds of the state of Alabama is experiencing some form of drought, while many areas are in the lightest drought conditions. We're still experiencing drought, so any widespread significant rains could be helpful in reducing the drought conditions. Storm Prediction Center is not outlooking any slight risk areas for any of the next 3 days. They do have some marginal risk areas over New England, the central Mississippi River Valley, parts of Colorado and Kansas, and in the northwest parts of Montana and Idaho for day 1. For day 2, we see the Idaho-Montana marginal risk area plus the one extending from southeastern Colorado across the southern part of Kansas. And then on day 3, it's confined primarily to the western sections of the Dakotas and the western section of Nebraska and northeastern Colorado. And the tropics are quieting down as Earl rains out over southern Mexico. And we also have this other area of disturbed weather that is a reflection of an upper air disturbance. And that is showing some signs of possible development over the next 5 days on the order of about 30%, according to the National Hurricane Center, as long as it meanders over the water. All right, let's take a look at the 06C GFS model run. And there's a look at our pattern for today, and you can see the overall ridging, and then, of course, you can see that little disturbance. That little disturbance, they're responsible for a good deal of rain off or offshore, off of the Florida Panhandle. It could be kind of a wet week at the beach ahead. But it looks like across central Alabama that we'll see fewer showers, and we can certainly see that when we look at the HRR map, and the HRR indicating that by 3 o'clock this afternoon we're not going to see much in the way of showers. Going out to Sunday, still the ridge pattern there, but we also still have this meandering little disturbance over the northeast Gulf of Mexico. And again, that as it moves a little further to the west, it could create more showers and thunderstorms over our area. And certainly by Sunday, we notice a fairly substantial increase. The precipitable water values go up over 2 inches, and I think that's a pretty good sign that we'll see thunderstorms and showers being pretty likely across our area. Monday, it's the same story. The ridge in place, but we do have this disturbance, this little weakness, except that it's now a much broader weakness over the Northeast Gulf. And, of course, once again, that's responsible for a good deal of rain. And also, GFS is suggesting perhaps an area of lower pressure at the surface. The upper air disturbance continues with us as it continues under the ridge. The ridge continues into Wednesday, but we see this disturbance now moving over a little further to the west in the vicinity of Mobile, but still offshore. And by Thursday, it's now getting over closer to the mouth of the Mississippi River. And again, wherever that is, we're going to see showers and thunderstorms, once again driven primarily by the heat of the afternoon, but I think more widespread for much of the week ahead, simply because we're going to have this disturbance to help add fuel to the development of these showers and thunderstorms. And with more clouds, more showers and thunderstorms developing fairly quickly, we should see temperatures held back into the upper 80s, so that'll be nice, even though the humidities will still be high. Friday, that disturbance is still visible there, as we're still under generally a weak ridge, and a week from today, it's now over by the mouth of the Mississippi River, so we will have to watch and see exactly what happens with that thing as to whether or not it actually will develop at all. And there's the surface pattern, once again showing a good deal of showers for Saturday. Looking out into voodoo country, before James returned, I was talking about how in voodoo we were seeing a little short wave, a fairly stout short wave that might promise the possibility of a cold front in our area. And indeed, it's still showing up there around the 17th of August with a substantial short wave coming across the Mississippi River, and that helping to bring in some drier and cooler air, even for a short period. That will be certainly welcome because the GFS brings the ridge back in pretty stoutly around the 21st. So the heat is not completely over just yet. That'll do it for the Weather Extreme video for this morning. I'll have the next one posted around 7 or so tomorrow morning. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for notes on Alabama's weather. I'm ABC 3340 meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.